Hey, this is Russ Miller. I'm at the Frankfurt Musikmesse, and I just want to say thanks for visiting Planet Drum, and check out the new Mapex Saturn V and my new Versatis Series Artist snare drum from Mapex. Okay, so we're talking about the new Mapex Saturn V drum set, and that drum kit is here on stage. It is basically a reissue of the Saturn series based upon an entire new sonic development, meaning it sounds completely different than the other models did. And it does that in two different ways. The first way is with the sonic clear bearing edge. Now, if you're not familiar with the bearing edge of the drum, it's the area at which the head contacts the actual shell. And there's two things that make the biggest difference in the sound of a drum. The first is the actual material of the shell, like is it maple or birch or mahogany or metal, steel, brass, whatever. The second component is the actual bearing edge where the head contacts it. For instance, most manufacturers have an edge like this where there's not a big countercut on the outside, and the contact point of the head is way out here on the outside of the shell. What happens with that is you get, when you put a head on it, you get a rocking effect like this because the head doesn't sit down flat. What Mapex has done is gone and changed the way that edge is designed. You can see there's a big countercut on the outside that fits exactly with the collar of the head, and the point at which it touches the head is more in the middle of the shell. That puts the shell in motion more, and you get a bigger sound, a more open sound. The other thing too is when I put the head on there, you can see it doesn't rock at all. Completely flat, spins really easily. If you've ever put a drum head on and it rocked a lot like this, when it rocks back and forth and you start to tune it, that's when you get those barrels and warrels and all those sounds in the tuning that you hear. So the sonic clear edge really makes a huge difference in that. Now what I have here is a drum that does not have the sonic clear edge, and then the new Saturn V that does have the sonic clear edge. So I will hit that. This is the drum without the edge. Now you can hear the sustain, boom, 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 boom. It's kind of a short sustain. Now listen to the with the edge. It's considerably longer, about 3 to 4 times longer. This is about 2.3 seconds. This is about 7.5. And you get a lot more body, a lot more openness out of the drum. Now the same thing happens with the tom mount. The tom mount, the new Sonic Clear tom mount, which is the other part of Saturn V, has the same sort of effect. So what I'm going to do is take this drum away and use the exact same drum for this demo. Now you'll notice if you look at a regular tom arm setup, you have there's 7 points of transfer. A transfer point is every point you lose vibration, so it affects the sound of the drum. You have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 down to the ground. The new Sonic Clear mount here, move this wire out of the way. The new Sonic Clear mount only has 4 points of transfer loss. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then down to the ground. Now what that does is you eliminate a lot of the vibration or the resonance loss in the drum. So I'll take this same drum and put it on the mount, the old style mount, and I'll hit that and you'll see what happens to the sustain. Now I'll take the exact same drum and put it on the Sonic Clear mount, and almost the same dramatic effect as what the bearing edge does happens with the Sonic Clear tom mount. It's about 3 times the sound that it is on the old mount. So this makes a huge difference in the sound of the drum. So the same drum sounds completely different. It's like 3 times more sound. So those two components together, the Sonic Clear Edge and the Sonic Clear mount, are the two components of Saturn V that makes up that new kit. So it's a huge difference sonically.